and I am also an Ayurveda consultant, and wanted to talk to you a little bit today about Ayurveda. And I wanted to do it a little bit differently than you might be used to it. I know you probably often read in yoga journals what to do during the springtime, what to do in the fall to balance your dosha or to balance just your health generally. And I wanted to shift the focus a little bit in this little video today. And I wanted to talk a little bit about some myths about Ayurveda that I have found a little bit in my teaching and in my consultations that just seem to be out there. Because I think it's important that we understand that all the things we do in Ayurveda, so we eat leafy green vegetables in spring, we eat our root vegetables in the fall, and we eat more warm food in the fall, we eat more cooling foods in the summer, that we understand a little bit more the bigger context about the Ayurvedic approach. And I think that some of the myths that I have found about on Ayurveda help get us at this bigger picture a little bit. One of the first myth I wanted to talk about, I have called Ayurveda has magic herbs which will alleviate my health issues. And I later thought that I should have rephrased it a little bit, but what I was trying to get at was that some people, I think, come to a consultation with me and they wait for me to give them the magic herb that will make them lose 20 pounds or help them with their depression. And the Ayurvedic approach is actually slightly different. I want to say that this approach, oh, give me an herb that will fix me, is a little bit what's sometimes called the medical model. So you go to somebody and they fix you. And the Ayurvedic approach is a lot about taking responsibility. Like, there are things I can do to change my condition, to achieve more balance. It means a little bit more work on your behalf. It means a little more effort to change your behavior. It also sometimes means a little more time. Yeah, it means allowing for a change in behavior, in diet, to actually manifest in more well-being or increased well-being and increased health. The other thing that not many people know, but this increased reliance on Ayurvedic herbs actually already has had a little bit of a detrimental effect in that some Ayurvedic herbs are actually now at the risk of extinction. So I think we want to just be really mindful and follow the overall Ayurvedic approach of living in harmony with nature and take good care of nature and not just use these herbs to get over our problems and make us feel better, but rather to get at the root of the problems and also really just use these herbs when we really need them and use them as minimally as possible so we can maintain the overall health of the planet as well as our health. The other thing is, when we talk in Ayurveda about living in harmony with nature, is I often talk in workshops about how you're supposed to get up before the sun gets up, which means probably around 5:30, something like that, and I get these wide eyes and a little bit of shock on the face, and I can't manage this. And the thing again, what I want to emphasize here, that it's not being really tough and getting up at 5 a.m. with maybe just 5 or 6 hours of sleep and then pushing through the day. The idea is that we start to find a lifestyle that is in harmony with nature. So we'll get up before the sun gets up. So we go when we are active, when there's light in the day, and we go to bed when the sun goes down. So we follow the cycle of the day that nature gives us. And also, getting up at 5 a.m. doesn't mean you should still be going to bed at midnight. Yeah, so if it's still, this is really, really important in Ayurveda, we should all get enough rest. And if it's one thing that if I could, would like to change in our society today, is that we all get a little bit more rest. Because I think it is at the root of so many health issues, is that we're all stressed out and overtired and exhausted. And so it has a trickle effect or a ripple effect throughout the whole body. But what I wanted to emphasize is that the idea of getting up early is not to exhaust you even more, but it's just to get you more in sync with the circadian rhythms. The next myth that I wanted to talk about is Ayurveda requires me to always eat rice and mung beans. Because obviously Ayurveda, coming from the Indian culture, it is something that you might find recommended quite a bit. But what it gets at is you don't have to eat Indian food and Indian spices all the day, but it is starting to become aware of food that is truly nourishing, food that is as close to nature as possible, and then finding the optimal qualities in the food. Yeah, and so this can be absolutely your traditional Western foods, but it should be a selection of Western foods that is appropriate for your constitution or for your health issues at the moment. A little bit related to that, Ayurveda does not allow me to eat chocolate or drink beer or insert favorite food or beverage here. Yeah, so the idea that we can't have fun anymore when we eat or drink, and we can only eat rice and mung beans. So this is actually not the case. Ayurveda very much favors indulgence, but it favors indulgence in moderation. And that is one thing I think that we have so increasingly lost the ability to do, to indulge in moderation and to have the awareness, when is it too much and when is it still okay. By the way, foods, for example, such as chocolate, are in some situations very much favored by Ayurveda, and actually also, for example, beer. I had one teacher in Ayurvedic school. She did a consultation in front of all of us, and she had a girl come in who then sat down and she said, well, and then I eat chocolate. And the teacher said, oh, so you eat chocolate? And the girl was very much embarrassed by the fact. And there was a big pause, and then the teacher said, well, is it good quality? Do you eat enough of it? Which was a big surprise to the girl, yeah? But for her particular situation, constitution, it's absolutely fine to eat chocolate. It's probably fine for every constitution to eat chocolate, just in different amounts and different kinds. And by the way, just if it's of interest, beer is excellent for vata imbalances. Yeah, it's so heavy and grounding that it can be very, very good for balancing vata dosha. Finally, we have Ayurveda myth number 5. Ayurveda has nothing new to say about weight loss. And of course, it depends a little bit on who you talk to, because I don't know, there's a myriad of weight loss approaches out there, and I don't even know them all. But what has struck me with Ayurveda, that there's actually not even that focus on weight loss. I have a feeling that some people who come to me wait for that magic silver bullet advice that helps them lose 10 pounds in the next 10 days. And it's not the focus of Ayurveda. I remember reading in one book that said, unless there are really very intense or very big problems, such as, it was really gross what they described, the hanging belly and other interesting descriptions, unless there are very significant problems, do not even worry about it. Focus on bringing the person into balance, and these things will fall into place. They might not always fall into the place where your overall beauty ideal situates it, but things will fall into place. The one thing that has struck me with the Ayurvedic approach, that Ayurveda finds that with many weight loss situations, the problem is actually a vata imbalance, which means too much stress, which we talked about earlier. So there's too much stress. Vata dosha, which governs the nervous system, is aggravated, and vata dosha is the essence of the air and ether element. So what the body does, it is tries to weigh you down, and it packs on pounds to do that. Especially if it finds you're undernourished. So if you're stressed out, you live on Diet Coke and on salad and on caffeine, you might still be overweight and have trouble losing weight. You might start to slow down, exercise less, eat more regularly, and just drop the weight, because your nervous system finally relaxes and does no longer have the need for that compensation mechanism. So these are some things I wanted to talk about today. I'd love to hear from you. If you have feedback, if there are other things you would like to learn about with regards to Ayurveda, happy to offer workshops here at the studio or do another Tranquility tip of the month. And feel free to contact me here at the studio. studio, set up a consultation if you want to. I look forward to hearing from you.